gentlemen, if you want to smell absolutely delicious, then this video right here is the one for you, because in this video I will show you 10 out of 10 Gourmand fragrances. In my opinion, these 7 fragrances are some of, if not the best fragrances that will make you smell absolutely delicious. So let's not waste any more time and let's begin. Starting with possibly the best one and the most expensive one is going to be Roja Parfum Sweetie Aoud. This was my first fragrance that I bought whenever I started my new job working in the perfume industry. This is one of the most complex fragrances I have ever tried, because it is so difficult describing this fragrance based on the notes, because the only note you get here is the Gourmand accord. This smells to me like a French bakery making freshly baked pastries. It has this pastry baking like scent which is absolutely delicious. It is very dessert like in the best delicious, most mouth-watering way, with there being some fluffiness, a lot of sweetness, again some pastry quality here, but imagine it being as if you're eating a croissant and having lots of different desserts presented to you. The only thing I can describe to you otherwise is that in the dry down you're going to get some of this balsam oud like smokiness in the base, as if you can smell the warmth of the ovens in the bakery. This is to die for in my opinion. Super complex, not the easiest wear, but whenever you smell this either on yourself or in the air, this is magical. It is one of the best gourmands I have ever tried, because it blends two things that I love, oud and gourmand, into one. It's incredible. Also, my bottle is signed by the great Xerjoff himself. On my skin, Roja Parfum Sweetie Aoud lasts over 12 hours easily on skin, with projection being 1 to 2 meters plus, with an incredibly noticeable and strong sillage that will leave you speechless and almost hungry, with the projection settling down to a moderate scent bubble scent after a couple of hours. It then dries to a mild but still noticeable skin scent. My favorite Roja Parfum fragrance, and this deserves nothing less than a 10 out of 10 men's improvement rating. I love this fragrance. Check it out if you haven't already. Next up is a fragrance that has gotten a lot of hype the last couple of years. It is Terence Hughes Hard Candy Elixir. This is delicious, addictive, and simply a joy to wear. It has this sweet fruitiness with some additional sugary texture fruitiness. There's some florals to give you additional texture and lift, but other than that, this is very joyful, fun, super strong, and the sillage on this is straight up addictive and simply indescribable. There is an MDMA accord here which gives you this addictive drug-like quality, which is not really detectable, but it definitely adds a twist to the very sweet, syrupy, candied sweetness, which gives you some powdery, sugary feel additionally to the overall scent profile, which I find super bright and again very, very sweet and sugary. It's been hyped for a reason. It is insanely strong, insanely compliment getting, and something that is so fun to wear because it brings a lot of attention, because it is super strong and super addictive to smell. Whenever you get a whiff of this, you will constantly want to smell it. It is such an amazing fragrance for sure. It's also a little dense because it has some honey and tonka to it, so you are going to get a lot of sweetness coming from different things, and I cannot mention this enough. There is so many textures here. There's some powderiness, there's some thickness, there's some sugariness. There is so much happening here that Indian blends so well to a very wearable yet super amazing gourmand fragrance. On my skin, Terence Hughes Hard Candy Elixir lasts 12 plus hours, with projection being an arm's length for a good amount of hours, with great sillage that is really addictive and pulls someone closer, which then dries to a moderate and at some point a mild skin scent. I can't stress enough how amazing this fragrance is, especially if we're going to a party, clubbing, perhaps on a date, or a bigger gathering when there's going to be a lot of people, perhaps later at night, this works wonders. And I've given Terence Hughes Hard Candy Elixir a 10 out of 10 men's improvement rating. Of course I would. This is incredible stuff right here. The quality for the price is insane. Next up, a fragrance I reviewed a couple of years ago, and of course it's a 10 out of 10. Jovoy Fire at Will. This fragrance took me by surprise because actually it's a very simple smelling fragrance. It smells a lot of vanilla, some sugar, generally smells of vanilla cookies, some type of vanilla-like pastry, but it's a very cleverly made fragrance with the ingredients being picked very wisely and in a very clever way, and it smells so addictive. And if you love gourmand fragrance, you at least need to check this one out. This is a vanilla dominant fragrance with a brown sugar accord, giving you some texture, some additional sweetness to make this very sweet, but blends very well with the vanilla in the base. But at the top you have some mimosa, giving you additional texture, something that fills out the fragrance to make this smell and feel thicker than it could have been, to give you additional substance and generally give out this fluffy sugary sweetness to add to the very sweet complex vanilla. Some additional warmth coming through as well. Such a simple smelling but so enjoyable fragrance. Quality for the price is super high, and if you love vanilla fragrances, you will most likely enjoy this one a lot. On my skin, Jovoy Fire at Will lasts 12 plus hours, with projection being an arm's length for a couple of hours, which then dries to a moderate and in the end a mild skin scent. Again, if you love simple vanilla fragrances but want some texture and gourmand facets, you need to check Jovoy Fire at Will out, and I've given this fragrance a 10 out of 10 men's improvement rating. Stunning vanilla fragrance for sure. Next up, it's a fragrance I will pick up at some point. I promise you guys the sample will not run much longer. It is Sora Dora Jany. This is one of my favorite gourmand fragrances, not only because of the scent profile, but it is mesmerizingly strong and potent and so delicious. This smells like the most realistic apple puff pastry pie in a bottle. This is fruity with some different fruits coming through, but mostly a very sweet caramelized crunchy apple with a lot of this puff pastry, giving you this fluffiness, sweetness, and a lot of these gourmand facets, in the end giving you a very photorealistic apple pie scent with some additional caramel, giving you a ton of thickness and density, and of course a good backbone so this can live forever, and some additional nuttiness as well to give you some more gourmand facets and even thicker scent profile. This is so yummy, so delicious, especially if you like this apple pie scent, which I think this does in the most delicious way. And if you're looking for a fragrance that lasts forever, you take this. This lasts for an eternity. And speaking of longevity and performance, on my skin, Sora Dora Jany lasts over 20 hours on skin, with projection being 2 meters plus, with a very thick and noticeable sillage, which at some point dries to a scent bubble moderate scent, and at some point after a couple of hours as well, it dries to a mild skin scent. Such a stunning performer, such a delicious fruit pastry bomb. This is the cream of the crop when talking about gourmand fragrances. It's strong, it's potent, it's thick, it's delicious, and smells so photorealistically of an apple pastry pie. It's so good. Sora Dora Jany, I've given this fragrance a 10 out of 10 minutes improvement rating. If you love gourmand fragrances, this might be an instant pickup. I will get a bottle of this at some point, that's for sure. Coming up is a fragrance I've mentioned a ton on this channel. It is Xerjoff Casamorati Italica. This is so delicious. This has some milk, giving you this lactonic, thick, strong scent with some toffee and caramel here, giving you a different type of density, thickness, and of course the vanilla here giving you some creaminess and very good foundation of sweetness in the base to make this very well refined, smooth. There's nothing nothing sticking out here at all. Everything is perfectly blended, and at the top you're going to get some saffron, giving you an instantaneous kick, which gives you a pinch of spiciness to give you some contrast that blends very well with the other nuances in this scent. This is so delicious, especially if you love milky fragrances. This is a monster on skin, and talking about that, on my skin, Xerjoff Casamorati Italica lasts 28 plus hours, with projection being 2 to 3 meters plus for a couple of hours, which then dries to a very strong scent bubble. And the sillage on this is insanely potent and, in my opinion, magical and addictive. And at some point after 8 hours or so, it then dries to a mild but noticeable skin scent. I've given Xerjoff Casamorati Italica a 10 out of 10 minutes improvement rating. You need to check this one out. It's one of Xerjoff's very best. Second to last fragrance on this list, my favorite from Sarah Baker, it is Pastel Rumours. If this didn't exist, Peach's Revenge would be on this list, but I find Pastel Rumours to be just a little bit better. This has a lot going on that will remind you of Peach's Revenge, giving you this ultra fruity, creamy gourmand peach fragrance, but here this adds additional complexity coming from some lactonic milk-like qualities and a cereal accord, giving you almost this crunchy pastry-like scent, additionally to the very sweet lactonic peach, drying to a very creamy custard-like vanilla musky scent, with the peach and cereal accords here not disappearing whatsoever. This is so delicious, so strong. This is lactonic, fruity, pastry-like. There's a bunch of vanilla, some muskiness to give you some lift. This is to die for, in my opinion, and this is almost as good as they come when talking about gourmand fragrances. On my skin, Sarah Baker Pastel Rumours lasts 12 plus hours, with projection being an arm's length for a couple of hours, which then dries to a mild but very noticeable skin scent. I've given Sarah Baker Pastel Rumours a 10 out of 10 minutes improvement rating. No brainer, 10 out of 10. So delicious, so yummy, so good. And last but definitely not least, one of my favorite fragrances ever made, going back to Terence Hughes, it's Raw Cherry. Raw Cherry combines two things that I love the most: Oud and Gourmand. This is a very juicy, dark, fruity cherry fragrance with a delicious dark chocolate, and the oud here giving you density, depth and darkness, but nothing animalic in any way. A touch of smokiness perhaps. There is some smoothness and creaminess from vanilla, but it's going to be dominated by the very sour, delicious, yummy, juicy, ripe cherry with the very dark, thick chocolate, almost giving you a cherry brownie scent here, with the oud giving you a deep, dense, dark scent. And I've mentioned this as being my favorite cherry fragrance ever made. If you're curious about other cherry fragrances, I've made a video up here in the corner which you can go and watch. But this is at the very top of cherry fragrances for me. It is strong, it's dense, it's compliment pulling. The sillage is working hours and hours and hours on end. It is such an amazing fragrance, and I have gathered so many compliments with this fragrance. And generally, I think this is one of Terence Hughes' best fragrances ever. On my skin, Terence Hughes Raw Cherry lasts 12 plus hours, with projection being 1 to 2 meters for a couple of hours, with the sillage working a lot of hours, maybe 6 to 8 hours or so, whenever you are walking by someone, which then dries to a moderate at some point, and at some point a mild skin scent. Terence Hughes Raw Cherry is a 10 out of 10 minutes improvement rated fragrance. If there would be one Terence Hughes fragrance I want to try, it's Raw Cherry, especially if you love cherry fragrances and all gourmand fragrances. Simply a masterpiece. Gentlemen, that was it for my list of the 7 best 10 out of 10 gourmand fragrances in my opinion. What do you think, gentlemen? Comment down below with your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section. I would love to see what you have to say down there. Do you like gourmand fragrances? Do you absolutely love gourmand fragrances? What is your favorite gourmand fragrance out there, or maybe a couple of your favorites? Or do you simply not enjoy gourmand fragrances at all because they might be too sweet, too cloying, or you don't want to smell literally edible? Again, leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed this, then don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe to the Men's Improvement YouTube channel for more videos about fragrances, grooming, style, fashion, skincare, fitness, watches, everything. And it will make you, gentlemen, the best possible versions of yourselves. The last few things I want to ask you, gentlemen, is to smile more because it's free. And I want you to watch these two videos right here. This one here below is going to be my latest upload rest. This one up here is going to reveal the YouTube algorithm things you will enjoy.